Do your research on Pluto2x, one of Chirac's most brazen demons. You heard? Let's get into the content.
Two sides to you, now I'm faded. Holding you, kissing you, calling you baby. Cold by the shake, I'm trying to drink you. Feel like I'm drunk, might need a chaser. She got me nervous, I'm trying to be player. Let's leave the ball, go home and lay up. Rubbing your body, massaging your layers. Sip and get tipsy, we play a little later. I don't use a drink, but loving your flavor. Me and you make a good combination. When I hit it, look like you took a sip of the whiz. How you making them faces? Use that weight, but I'm getting impatient.
Go has a lot of dudes who catch bodies and rap about it. But Pluto2x took it to another level and went on one of the craziest killing sprees in the city. It's one of the bloodiest stories in Chirac history, and we're breaking the whole thing down. The south side of Chicago got put on the map because of the drillway. Sets like O-Block, STL, EBT, and Lamron are all from the south side. And a lot of people have no idea how crazy it gets out west. Pluto2x ripped a set called Ghost Mob. Ghost Mob is a conservative vice lord set out west that used to go by the names 4900 and TNG. They've been going to war with a bunch of traveling vice lord sets like BTBG and Four Corner Hustler sets like Poppy Gang for years. But the beef really got active back in 2017 when a dude from 4900 named Ghost got shot and killed. Ghost was allegedly putting in work for the gang, and in September 2017, he was found shot to death in the middle of the street. Nobody was ever booked for pulling the trigger on him, but rumors say he was in the middle of making a drug deal and the ops caught him lacking. Ghost Mob had been taking losses for years though. A dude from the set named Gerald got killed by a headshot back in 2008. Gerald was chilling in an alleyway on the 900 block of North Lehman Avenue when two dudes walked up and hit him in the head and chest. Nobody was ever caught for Gerald's murder, and then in 2010, Ghost Mob took another big loss when a member named Troy was killed. Some people think a dude named Mo Killer is the one who murdered Troy, and the set that Mo Killer reps is one of the most brutal gangs in the city. Wicked Town is a traveling vice lord set on the west side, and they've been beefing with Ghost Mob forever. Wicked Town has some of the deadliest shooters in the whole city, and the judge even told one of them, "I don't know if you have a soul." But before we get into the alleged serial killers from Wicked Town, you gotta understand why the beef with Ghost Mob was so crazy. Mo Killer ended up getting killed a little bit after he allegedly murdered Troy, but nobody knows the real story behind Mo Killer's death. Some sources claim that Ghost Mob took him out to get back for Troy, but other people say he got shot by the police. But Ghost Mob didn't get its name till 2017 when a 4900/TNG member named Ghost was allegedly taken out by a Four Corner Hustler set called Poppy Gang. But by that time, Ghost Mob's biggest shooter had already been tearing up the streets like crazy. Back in 2013, Pluto2x allegedly caught his first body when he was still a freshman in high school. According to the cops, Pluto and his homie got into a fight over a cigarette with a dude named Antoine Baker. Pluto and his homie started putting hands on Baker. Then Pluto dropped a speaker on his head, and Baker ended up dying from an asthma attack. Pluto and his homie both got booked for murder and were gonna be tried as adults. Pluto could have ended up with a life sentence right there, but then he caught a huge break in the case. During the trial, the autopsy on Antoine Baker was revealed, and it turned out that he had a lethal dose of heroin in his system when he died. Baker had a history of heroin-induced asthma attacks, and it turns out that nothing Pluto and his homie did would have actually killed Baker if he didn't already have a ton of heroin in his system. Pluto's homie beat the case and didn't get convicted on anything, and Pluto's charges were dropped from murder to involuntary manslaughter. It's not clear exactly how much time he did on the case, but by 2016, Pluto was back in the trenches and allegedly caught another body when he killed a dude from a Four Corner Hustler set called Teen Mob. Teen Mob and Ghost Mob had one of the craziest beefs in the city, and some people claim that Pluto caught a Teen Mob member named Tice in 2016 and left him dead in the street. That same year, Ghost Mob took another big loss when a member named Big Glow was killed by a Teen Mob member named Michael Dukes. Michael Dukes was at a corner store on the 5000 block of West Crystal when Big Glow walked in and bought something to drink, and while Big Glow was leaving the shop, he said something to Michael Dukes that set him off, so Michael Dukes followed Big Glow out and shot him 6 times. Then according to rumors, Michael Dukes took Big Glow's phone and started trolling Big Glow's mom and sent her messages saying that he killed her son. Ghost Mob wanted to get back for Big Glow, and a few months later, Pluto allegedly slid on Teen Mob and killed another member named Pretty Four. Ghost Mob got its name after a Four Corner Hustler allegedly killed Ghost, but a few months before Ghost got killed, Pluto2x allegedly murdered another Teen Mob member named Sosa Curry. Sosa was sitting on the block in his whip when someone came up and shot him so many times in the head that he couldn't have an open casket funeral, and after Sosa got killed, Pluto posted him on Facebook and said, "Happy birthday, dead bitch." Then Pluto took the disrespect even further and posted a video where he was stomping on Sosa Curry's grave. According to some sources, Sosa Curry had killed a dude from Ghost Mob named Saquon before he died, and after Sosa got shot in the head, Pluto posted messages where Sosa told him he was gonna kill him. Teen Mob wasn't the only set that Pluto was allegedly putting pressure on though, and in 2018, he allegedly killed a Wadi World member named Too Hot. A lot of people say that Too Hot didn't even bang, and he was just cool with dudes from the block, but that didn't stop him from getting caught up in the war. And after Too Hot got killed, Pluto self-snitched like crazy and said Too Hot tried to run from him, but his pants were too tight and he fell down. Pluto was allegedly sliding on Ghost Mob's ops like crazy, and in 2018, Pluto allegedly caught another Teen Mob member named Lil Mook and shot him to death. Pluto actually got booked for the murder, but the cops had to let him go because they didn't have enough evidence to take it to trial. But after Pluto got killed a year later, Lil Mook's family pretty much confirmed that Pluto killed Lil Mook and set piss on that bitch after Pluto died. Pluto allegedly killed a bunch of Teen Mob affiliates, and then in 2019, he allegedly pulled the trigger on a BTBG member named Pistol P. Pistol P and his homies were hanging out around Iowa Street and Holman Avenue at 11 in the morning when the shooting went down. They were all just chilling on the block shooting dice. Then out of nowhere, 2 whips pulled up and 3 shooters started busting at Pistol P and his homies. 4 people got hit up, but Pistol P was the only one who died. And after the hit, Pluto's homie Cody was caught on surveillance cameras burning one of the whips they used. The cops booked Cody for the hit on Pistol P, but he beat the case and nobody went down for it. Pluto was already one of the biggest shooters out west, but what went down in September 2019 made headlines all over the city. 4 of Pluto's ops were standing outside of a store on the 4200 block of West Madison Street when someone pulled up and started busting shots. The shooter dumped at least 40 shots and hit all 4 of them, and 3 of them were found laying dead in a pool of blood right outside the shop. Nobody knows for sure if Pluto's the one who killed him, but he was dissing the ops on Facebook and said that Ghost Mob had already caught 20 hats just off a Teen Mob. At the same time, Pluto was hopping in the booth and rapping about dudes he allegedly killed, like on the track Location when he did Sosa Curry and rapped, "Beef with us, bet you won't make it. Where you at? Share your location." Sosa got killed trying to cake it. Then he dissed Tice too and rapped, "You got a gun, you ain't gonna use it. Had to fall back off the killing, cause bro and them told me to do the music. I pray I don't go out like Tice." Pluto was running up decent numbers with the music, but he was way more focused on catching bodies and blowing up in the rap game. He was beefing with some of the most violent sets in the city, and in 2019, it all caught up to Pluto. Just a couple weeks after Pluto allegedly caught 3 bodies on the same day, Pluto was stopped at a red light with a woman in his whip on the 700 block of North Cicero Avenue. Somebody had spotted Pluto and was following him around, and when Pluto was at the light, a shooter got out of the car behind him. And before Pluto could even react, the shooter walked right up to his window and started dumping shots into Pluto's whip. Pluto and the girl both got hit up, but somehow they were able to drive themselves to the hospital. But by the time they got there, it was already too late to save Pluto. He had been shot in the head and chest, and the doctors pronounced him dead. Pluto's death was a huge loss for Ghost Mob. He was the biggest shooter in the crew, but back then, nobody really knew how many bodies he actually caught. Then after Pluto died, his own homie said that Pluto killed more than 10 people before the ops finally caught up to him. And after Pluto got killed, his ops confirmed even more bodies that Pluto caught and started posting their homies that Pluto pulled the trigger on. There's a lot of rumors about who actually killed Pluto, but most people think Wicked Town are the ones who took him out. Wicked Town is one of the most active sets on the west side, and some of their shooters were so brutal that a judge told one of them he doesn't know if he even has a soul. In 2022, the cops brought down a huge RICO case on Wicked Town and claimed that they were responsible for at least 19 murders in the city. A dude named Lil Don was allegedly calling the shots in Wicked Town, but he was putting in work too and allegedly caught at least 7 bodies. Lil Don had been active in the trenches since the early 2000s, and in 2002, he killed someone with his homie John. Then a year later, Lil Don ended up killing John too. Wicked Town snaked a lot of their homies, and in 2018, they murdered a member named Donald Holmes Jr. because they thought he was working with the cops. Donald wasn't actually a snitch, but a shooter from Wicked Town named Scudder killed Donald and his girlfriend right outside of his own crib and then bragged about it on tape. Scudder was one of the craziest killers on the west side. Lil Don recruited Scudder when he was a kid and turned him into a shooter, and by the time the RICO came down, Scudder had allegedly caught 14 bodies. Scudder decided to take a plea deal instead of going to jail, and he admitted to catching 7 bodies in less than 3 years. Scudder was moving like a serial killer, and the murders were so brutal that when the judge handed down a 50-year sentence, he told Scudder, "I don't know if you have a soul." There's rumors that Scudder might have been on the Pluto2x hit too, but there's no evidence to back that up. Pluto getting killed didn't slow the violence in the streets down at all though, and on the anniversary of his death, his homies in Ghost Mob allegedly slid on the ops and killed a dude from BTBG named Dern. Dern was chilling on the block on September 27, 2020 when a whip pulled up and someone inside started shooting. Dern caught a bullet to the chest and was rushed to the hospital, but they couldn't do anything to save him and he died that night. Dern was a big loss for BTBG, and they weren't going to let it go without clapping back. And just 2 days after Dern died, BTBG allegedly slid on Ghost Mob and killed a member named Sumo. Then a couple months later, Ghost Mob took another loss when a member named Thule got killed by his own homie. Thule and some other Ghost Mob members were sitting at a red light when a 68-year-old dude pulled up next to him. A Ghost Mob member named Sid was driving the whip, and for some reason, he tried to kill the old man who pulled up. Sid upped his gun and started shooting, and when the old man started driving away, Sid turned around and tried to shoot through the back windshield. Thule and a couple of other Ghost Mob members were sitting in the back seat though, and Sid ended up hitting Thule 4 times in the chest while he was trying to shoot out the back window. Then Sid and the other Ghost Mob dudes ran out of the car while Thule bled out in the back seat and died. The cops found Sid that same night and booked him for killing Thule, and he ended up catching a 12-year sentence when he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. Thule was allegedly putting in a lot of work for Ghost Mob before he got killed, and rumors said that BTBG tried to kill him before his own homies did. A lot of people think Thule took out a BTBG member named 23. According to some sources, 23 was trying to slide on Ghost Mob, but he got killed on the hit. And after Thule got killed, another Ghost Mob member showed him love on Facebook, talks about the first time Thule caught a body. And on the same post, a shooter from BTBG named Kill Bill hopped in the comments and dissed Thule. And before Thule got killed by Sid, BTBG allegedly tried to kill him and ended up killing Thule's innocent sister instead. BTBG is known for killing innocents who don't have anything to do with the beef, and some sources claim they've murdered at least 4 kids while they were sliding on ops. Ghost Mob was still putting in a lot of work after Pluto got killed, but they started taking way more losses. And in 2020, they lost 4 homies all in just a couple of months. And in 2024, Ghost Mob took one of the most brutal losses in the city when Davo got killed. Davo was walking out of a gas station when a car full of shooters pulled up and started busting shots. Davo and his homies didn't have time to do anything, and Davo hit the ground as soon as the bullets started hitting him. It's not clear why the shooters wanted him dead so badly, but they stood over Davo and let off over 100 shots to make sure he was dead. And one of the shooters even emptied one gun, then went back to the whip and got another gun to keep shooting Davo while he was laying on the ground. Nobody was booked for the hit on Davo, but rumors say that BTBG are the ones who took him out. Ghost Mob allegedly clapped back the next day though, and allegedly took out a BTBG member named JP. Some people claim that Ghost Mob didn't have anything to do with the JP hit though. His murder was allegedly a backdoor situation over some drama about a trap house. But after he died, Ghost Mob started posting a video of JP's murder. The beef died down for a little while because Ghost Mob and their ops have all lost a ton of members. But the war out west...
Appreciate you for clicking on the video. Before you go, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out.